A new feature in Revit 2011 allows us to create sheets from our sheet list called placeholder sheets. Creating such placeholders allow the sheet index to be built ahead of time in anticipation of the sheets that will be required by the set. This can provide useful planning tool early in the project and make the process of adding sheets quicker when the time comes to do so. I'm in a file called placeholder sheets. This is actually the condominium project, and unlike the office building project, which was created from the commercial template, this one was created from the default template, and the default template contains no pre-built sheets. So if you look here on the project browser, you can see that the sheets node is empty. So I have a sheet list. With the Modify Sheet List tab active on the ribbon, there's a New Rows button over here. And if we click that, it will actually create a new unnamed sheet, and it will suggest the name A101. I'm going to accept that name, and I'm going to change the name of the sheet to Floor Plans. Then I'll click New a couple more times. These are both floor plans because we have 3 floors in this building. This one I'm going to change the name to A201. This is going to be Building Elevations. We'll add another new one. Notice it'll go to 202 automatically. And then I'll create an A301 for building sections. So we'll start with just those. Now the next thing that I could do is I could either right-click down here on the Sheets node and choose New Sheet the same way that I did in the previous movie, or when I'm over here in the sheet list, there's actually a shortcut to the New Sheet command right here on the ribbon. So I could click that. It really doesn't matter which method I use, both get me to the same place. Now if you did the last movie adding sheets, then you've seen this dialog before, or a similar version of it. We've got the same title block choice here. We don't have the B size, but that's fine. We don't need that. We're going to use this large size title block. We could click load if we needed our own title block. But unlike the previous movie where we added an individual sheet, here we see placeholder sheets. So we can actually create our new sheet based on one of those placeholders. And in fact, if we hold down the Shift key, we can select the entire set of placeholders all at one time, click OK, and if I expand the plus sign next to Sheets, you'll see that it will create all of those sheets for us in one step. So that's pretty handy, nice fast way to create all those sheets. And all that leaves us is the task of actually adding the views to the sheets. So here's my first floor plan. You drag the view in and you drop it on the sheet where you'd like it to go. And then we would open up the additional sheets and just repeat the process. Let me just point out one last thing to you here before we end is notice these orange lines here. You may recall from the Adding Rooms movie that we added those lines. Those were room separation lines, and I made them orange so they were easier to see. You may also recall that I told you back at that time that we would not be printing those items. Well, it turns out if you see something like that that you want to make a modification to, you don't have to go back to the view directly. It turns out you can actually right-click directly on the viewport and choose Activate View. That allows you to reach right through the sheet and into the view, and I can select the room separation line, come up here to the ribbon, and choose Hide by Category. And that will hide the room separation lines across the view. I can right-click again and choose Deactivate View. And so if you notice some little thing that you need to fix, you don't have to actually leave the sheet at all. You can take care of it right there. So in the next movie, we'll talk about how we can line up the floor plans across different views, but feel free to go in and drag the remaining views onto the sheets that you've created from the placeholders here on your own set.